France, a nation renowned for its elegance, culture, and political influence, finds itself grappling with an unprecedented period of turmoil. The country, known for its rich history and revolutionary spirit, is once again at a crossroads, facing challenges that could redefine its future. The streets of Paris, usually bustling with tourists and locals alike, are now echoing with the chants of protesters. These demonstrations, sparked by a myriad of grievances, have brought the city to a standstill, with major thoroughfares blocked and public transportation disrupted. The air is thick with tension, a palpable sense of unease hanging over the city of lights. The faces in the crowd reflect a mix of anger, frustration, and determination, as citizens from all walks of life come together to voice their discontent. The recent appointment of Michel Barnier as Prime Minister, a move intended to quell the unrest, has instead poured fuel on an already raging fire. His policies, seen by many as out of touch with the needs of the people, have only deepened the divide. From the far right to the left, political factions are engaged in a bitter power struggle, their discord threatening to unravel the very fabric of French society. The ideological battles being waged in the streets and in Parliament are a testament to the deep-seated divisions that plague the nation. This political earthquake is not merely a spectacle for the evening news, it has profound implications for the daily lives of ordinary French citizens. Conversations in cafes, homes, and workplaces are dominated by the latest developments as everyone grapples with the uncertainty of what lies ahead. The economy, already fragile, teeters on the brink of uncertainty. Businesses are closing, unemployment is rising, and the stock market is in turmoil, reflecting the broader instability that grips the nation. Social programs, once the envy of the world, are now under threat. Cuts to healthcare, education, and welfare services are causing widespread concern as the government struggles to balance the budget amidst the chaos. And the very values upon which France prides itself, liberty, equality, fraternity, are being called into question. The ideals that have long been the cornerstone of French identity are now at the heart of the debate as citizens demand a return to these fundamental principles. Amidst this maelstrom, one question resonates louder than all others. Can France navigate this perfect storm and emerge stronger on the other side? The resilience of the French people, their ability to adapt and overcome, will be put to the ultimate test in the days and months to come. The appointment of Michel Barnier as Prime Minister was meant to be a masterstroke, a deft political maneuver by President Macron to restore order and unity in a nation increasingly divided by political strife and social unrest. Macron, facing mounting pressure from both the left and the right, saw in Barnier a figure who could potentially bridge the widening gap and bring a semblance of stability to the French political landscape. Barnier, a seasoned politician with a long and distinguished career, seemed like the perfect candidate to bridge the political divide. His extensive experience in European politics, particularly his role in the Brexit negotiations, had earned him a reputation for being a skilled diplomat and a pragmatic leader. His experience in navigating the complexities of Brexit, his calm demeanor, and his reputation for competence inspired hope in some quarters that he could be the steadying hand France desperately needed. Many believed that his ability to handle high-stakes negotiations and his composed approach to problem-solving would translate well to the domestic challenges facing France. However, instead of calming the waters, Barnier's appointment has had the opposite effect, further inflaming passions and deepening the political chasm. The streets of Paris and other major cities have seen a surge in protests, with citizens from all sides of the political spectrum expressing their discontent. The far right views him with suspicion, a symbol of the European establishment they so vehemently oppose. They see Barnier as an embodiment of the very institutions and policies they believe have undermined national sovereignty and eroded traditional values. The left, on the other hand, sees him as a representative of the status quo, a continuation of the policies they believe have exacerbated inequality and social unrest. For them, Barnier's appointment is a signal that the government is not willing to make the radical changes they deem necessary to address systemic issues. Even within Macron's own centrist party, Barnier's appointment has been met with unease, many questioning whether he is the right person to lead France through this turbulent period. Some party members worry that Barnier's traditionalist approach may not resonate with a populace increasingly hungry for change and innovation. The internal debates and disagreements have only added to the sense of uncertainty and instability. As France stands at a crossroads, the question remains, Can Michel Barnier rise above the fray and become the unifying force that Macron envisioned? Or will his tenure as Prime Minister be remembered as a catalyst for chaos? As France grapples with this political crisis, one figure looms large over the unfolding drama: Marine Le Pen, the leader of the far-right Rassemblement National Party. Once relegated to the fringes of French politics, Le Pen and her party have steadily gained ground in recent years, capitalizing on widespread disillusionment with the political establishment, economic anxiety, and fears over immigration. The current turmoil, with its accompanying sense of chaos and uncertainty, has created a fertile breeding ground for Le Pen's nationalist anti-immigrant rhetoric. With each passing day, Le Pen's message of economic protectionism, cultural homogeneity, and a return to a bygone era of French greatness resonates more strongly with a growing segment of the population. Her attacks on the political elite, her promises to restore law and order, and her scapegoating of immigrants for France's woes have found a receptive audience among those who feel left behind by globalization and alienated from the political process. Section 4. Shadows of the Past. Sarkozy and Hollande re-emerge. As the current political crisis unfolds, two figures from France's recent past have stepped back into the limelight: former presidents Nicolas Sarkozy and François Hollande. Their re-emergence, though ostensibly in the role of elder statesmen offering counsel and guidance, has only added to the sense of unease gripping the nation. Sarkozy, known for his charismatic yet divisive style of leadership, has been critical of Macron's handling of the crisis, accusing him of weakness and indecision. Hollande, on the other hand, has adopted a more conciliatory tone, urging unity and dialogue in the face of adversity. However, their interventions have done little to quell the storm. Instead, they have served as a stark reminder of France's recent political failures, of unfulfilled promises and dashed hopes. Their presence has also raised questions about their own motivations, fueling speculation that they may be using the current crisis to position themselves for a potential return to power. Section 5. Philippe's Gambit. A new contender emerges for 2027. Adding another layer of complexity to the unfolding political drama is the recent announcement by Edouard Philippe, Macron's former prime minister, of his candidacy for the 2027 presidential election. This move has been anticipated by some political analysts, yet it still managed to catch many by surprise, given Philippe's relatively low profile in recent years. Philippe, who served as Macron's right-hand man during the first term of his presidency, has positioned himself as a pragmatic centrist, capable of bridging the political divide and restoring stability to France. His tenure as prime minister was marked by a series of reforms and crisis management which earned him both praise and criticism. Now, he aims to leverage that experience to appeal to a broader electorate. His decision to throw his hat into the ring has sent shockwaves through the political establishment, upending calculations and forcing a reassessment of alliances. Political analysts are now scrambling to predict how Philippe's entry will reshape the landscape, with some suggesting it could lead to unexpected coalitions and rivalries. Philippe's candidacy has been met with mixed reactions. While some political commentators see his move as a strategic masterstroke, others are more skeptical, questioning his ability to distance himself from Macron's shadow and carve out his own identity. Some see him as a breath of fresh air, a welcome alternative to the tired faces and stale ideologies of the traditional parties. His supporters argue that his pragmatic approach and experience in governance make him uniquely qualified to lead France through its current challenges. Others, however, view him with suspicion, a wolf in sheep's clothing who represents more of the same. Critics argue that Philippe's policies are merely a continuation of Macron's, lacking the bold vision needed to address the country's deep-seated issues. His close association with Macron, both a blessing and a curse, is likely to be a key factor in determining his political fortunes. While it provides him with a platform and recognition, it also ties him to the successes and failures of Macron's administration. As the campaign unfolds, it will be crucial to see how Philippe navigates this complex relationship and whether he can convince the electorate that he is the leader France needs for a new era. Section 6. Environmental concerns, stalled progress amidst the turmoil. As France grapples with this political maelstrom, another crisis, one with potentially even greater consequences, simmers in the background: the climate crisis. The urgency of addressing climate change, once a top priority for the French government, has been relegated to the back burner as the political class remains consumed by its own internal power struggles. Environmental activists and scientists warn that the delay in implementing crucial policies to reduce carbon emissions and transition to a more sustainable economy is pushing the planet closer to a point of no return. The political instability has created a climate of uncertainty, making it difficult to attract investment in renewable energy, implement ambitious environmental regulations, and enact meaningful change. The current political class, focused on short-term political survival, seems unwilling or unable to make the bold decisions necessary to address the long-term threat posed by climate change. Section 7, Social Unrest, Domestic Abuse Case, and Migrant Crisis spark outrage. The political turmoil in France is not merely an abstract debate confined to the halls of power, it is having a very real impact on the lives of ordinary citizens. A high-profile domestic abuse case involving accusations of horrific violence and complicity has shocked the nation and sparked a national conversation about violence against women. The case, which has dominated headlines for weeks, has exposed the dark underbelly of French society, highlighting the prevalence of domestic abuse and the systemic failures that allow it to persist.